Thinking about buying a house in Asheville, North Carolina? You better buckle up. Hi, this is 𝕊𝕠𝕟𝕉 with ℍ𝕠𝕟𝕟𝕼 Realty at Realty One Group Pivot here in Asheville, North Carolina. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about living, breathing, playing, working, having a baby, buying a house in Asheville, North Carolina, you need to hit the subscribe button and tap a little bell to get notified every time I make a new video. First of all, thank you all so much who reached out to me, who are still reaching out to me pretty much on a daily basis, who need help, figuring out whether this is the right area for them or helping relocate to the area. It's been an honor to help everyone so far, and I really enjoy helping people. So if you need any kind of help, if you have any kind of questions about relocation, the area, neighborhoods, feel free to contact me and my team. The contact information is right here. We got your back when relocating to Asheville, North Carolina. In this video, I will tell you what the process of buying a house in Asheville and in the Asheville area looks like, market conditions, what's been happening for the past several months, how to be best positioned, and what to know before even entering the market. First things first, you probably been trying to figure out if this is even the right area for you or location, and maybe you've been trying to figure out what type of or specific neighborhoods you want to be in. Well, with inventory being so low, what I tell my clients is that let's look at everything. Let's look at the wider range of properties, or a wider range of locations rather, because there might not be anything that would come up in that certain neighborhood or specific part of town where you want to be for several months, because inventory again is super low. So let's look everywhere and then kind of narrow it down from there. Second, and that was basically thing number one to do before you start looking at the house, always, at all times. And that is having your pre-approval letter or having proof of funds ready. In this market, no seller will look at your offer without proof of funds or pre-approval letter. In fact, some sellers want to see pre-approval letter or proof of funds before you even go see the house. And that started happening more with pandemic. I start seeing more sellers request proof of funds or pre-approval letter. And that's because people were afraid to let extra people into their houses, bring on germs, contaminate everything, that are not ready and willing to put in an offer. So they want to kind of eliminate all the tire kickers. So having your financing straightened out is step number one. That's the most important. Otherwise, you don't even have a chance. Since the start of pandemic, inventory fell about 40 or 50%. And that also partially because a lot of people are again afraid to let others walk through their houses, bring germs. They don't want all that extra exposure. And then as things start getting kind of a little looser and maybe easier, businesses start opening up and more buyers start entering the market, sellers who might have been thinking about putting a house on the market now are hesitant because they think, well, if we sell our house, where we're gonna go? Because they see that a lot of properties get multiple offers and fly off the shelves right away. So that's a couple of reasons why we have a very low inventory, even though this is the great time to sell. I mean, people are getting way above asking in this market. So it's great for the sellers, not so good for the buyers. As our inventory fell about 50%, the number of sales went up about 30%. So you can see this huge gap, and that's how prices continue to go up, because every property, pretty much every property, not every single property, but every property that's priced well, by the way, those rules still apply even in this market, they get multiple offers. And I know some people might say, you know, Asheville is overcrowded, a lot of people are moving. It's been happening all over the country, not just in Asheville. I am part of several different networking groups, and I talk to other agents and other professionals in the country basically every day, and it's been happening everywhere. It's not the matter of if it's happening, it's the matter of how bad it's happening, or how bad or how strong the seller's market is. So, for example, in our area, we might get anywhere from, you know, anywhere between 3 to 600,000 price range. We might get 8 to 12 offers on the property. Some other parts of the country might get 60 to 80 offers on the property. So that's crazy. I mean, it's tough. It's tough out there for the buyers, definitely. So it's happening everywhere, and Asheville is not an exclusion. With that, buyers in this market really do not have luxury of time. There's really no time to think. As soon as something hits the market, you literally need to run to the property to go see it, or let your agent go see it. That way you can make a decision as quickly as you can, make an offer. It happened to me several times. In fact, it happened to me this morning. That's why I'm recording this video instead of doing a showing. I was getting ready to go show a house, and I got a notification that it went under contract in one day. So it's happening at lightning speed, and you really need to be prepared. As soon as something hits the market, you need to go and see it, or you need to have your agent go and see it for you if you're out of state. And I know it sucks to be pressured like that and to make a decision, but that's just how it is. Usually it takes buyers anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 properties or 5 lost contracts to finally get a contract, because, you know, at first some people don't want to feel pressured and think maybe something better will come along. Second, a lot of people might, you know, kind of use the strategy, well, let's try this price, let's try asking price. Unfortunately, in this market with multiple offer situations, full price offer will not cut it. That's just the reality. Even $10,000 over it will not cut it. I had clients lost bidding wars offering $50,000 over asking and not getting it. And in fact, I was just curious a couple days ago and looked up some of the properties that some of my some of my clients lost bidding wars on. And I was just curious to see how much they went for. Some of them went for $100,000 over asking. $100,000 over, and that was not cash offers. Those were conventional loans. And so what's happening right now, you put your best foot forward. That's what I recommend my clients. You know, bring your highest and best, aka put your best foot forward right away. You might not have a chance to renegotiate or bring more money to the table. Just put your best foot forward right away. And any good listing agent will advise their sellers to ask for appraisal waiver. The bank will still have you do an appraisal. There's no way around it. But when you sign an appraisal waiver, it means that you're not going to come back to the seller and ask for money off of the total purchase price should it not appraise. Of course, you can still walk away from the property, but at least both sides know that you're not going to ask for money off of the total purchase price. And then depending on the amount over asking, any good listing agent will advise their clients to ask for proof of funds so that you as a buyer can provide proof of funds showing that you can in fact cover that difference should it not appraise. So, those are the things to be prepared for in this market. I see quite a few houses come back on the market. That again, I think is because we have a lot of either sight unseen offers or people who are making an offer through virtual showing I do it sometimes with some of my clients, do a FaceTime showing, and they make a decision that way because they're not in a position to be here and, hunt for houses. And then when people come in person and take a look at the house, they might realize that it's not exactly what they thought it was going to be, and they want to pull out. So they cancel the contract, the house goes back on the contract. Again, any good listing agent, to protect their seller clients, will advise their sellers to ask for higher due diligence money deposit. So in North Carolina, we have two kinds of deposits that every seller expects with the offer: due diligence money deposit and earnest money deposit. Due diligence money deposit is due at the signing of the contract, is non-refundable. It is the only compensation that the seller has to basically let you do your inspections and change your mind. You as a buyer have all the rights to cancel the contract for any reason or no reason at any time without any penalty. I mean, you lose your deposit, but you can walk away from the contract. The seller does not have that luxury. They're stuck with you unless you walk away. So due diligence money deposit is the only compensation they have. Now, it's not a percentage. It can be anywhere between 500, and I'm talking that's the lower side or end of the range, up to $3,000, $5,000, $8,000. It just depends on how much you want this property. Second deposit is earnest money deposit. It's refundable if you cancel the contract before the end of due diligence period. In the competitive market situation or in the competitive situation, it needs to be right at 1% of total purchase price. Now, your due diligence period, the length of it depends on what the kind of financing you get. With mortgages, you don't have a choice. 30 days is how much time the bank usually needs to do an appraisal, and that's how long your due diligence period will be. And 45 days from contract to close. So 45 days total. If it's a cash offer, and that's where cash offers have advantage, is they have a luxury of offering shorter due diligence period and shorter contract to close. And that's very appealing to the sellers because the shorter time, the closer or the sooner they'll be out of the house, the sooner they'll get paid, and less chances that somebody can change their mind and walk away. Everything is shorter. Cash buyers can really close on the property in 2-3 weeks. They just need to do inspections, and the attorney needs to do a title search and prepare all the documents, and that's it. So that's very appealing to the sellers. And in today's market, there are a couple of ways to win contracts, and that is offering good terms, and that is the dates. And like I said, with cash, it's easy, you have flexibility. With mortgages, you really don't have flexibility to offer better terms. And money, and that is the purchase price and the due diligence money. Those are three main things. But I've seen offers being won by conventional loans. They just offered way more, like $100,000 more, and they got the contract. So that's just how it is. I know it's crazy. It's a learning experience for a lot of people who are entering the market and who are not prepared to bid over, but depending on the situation, some people, you gotta live somewhere. It's not maybe a vacation home, it's not a second home, or for whatever reason, it's kind of hard to realize that, hey, you need to bid 50 grand over. It's crazy, right? But that's just what's been happening. Again, it's a supply and demand. Supply went way low, demand went way high, and that creates a lot of demand, a lot of competition among buyers. I know, a lot of people are talking about how it's a bubble and it's gonna burst, and so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Drop it in the comments what you think will happen that will turn the market and when? I have a couple of kind of thoughts about that. You know, one is interest rates. As soon as they start going up, it will change the number of buyers that are on the market. And then as soon as those forbearances stop and people who took advantage of forbearances, you know, what's that going to look for them? Are we going to have foreclosures? Or, you know, so there's just a couple of things that I'm thinking about, but I'm curious to hear what you think, and I would love to hear it in the comments. When and how. If you have any questions about the process of buying a house in the Asheville area in today's market, feel free to reach out to me and my team. The contact information is right here. If you want to continue, get updates about what it's like to live in Asheville, breathe, play, work, buy a house, have a baby, hit the subscribe button and tap a little bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And I will see you next time.